right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It's a new year, means new interviews, new tour diaries, all kinds of cool stuff on this channel. So make sure you subscribe. Got to get that out of the way. Subscribe. Go into the links in the description and check out Patreon. You can watch all the interviews ad-free before anybody else. And like I said, new tour diaries. If you want to see what life on the road is like these days, they've been very popular. People enjoying that. So those are there. And now brand new interviews. This is the first interview of 2023. I had this idea that I wanted to give credit to some of the bands that I really liked that didn't become household names, that didn't quite make it through, but were great bands nonetheless. And Leatherwolf was always one of my favorites. A friend of mine gave me a Leatherwolf cassette when I was in high school. It was street ready. And I loved it. I just thought, why didn't this band become bigger? Why didn't more people not know this band? And over my travels, I would run into members of the band. And I got to know today's guest, Michael Olivieri, because he performed here in Las Vegas with a band called Sin City Sinners that I was managed. And I thought, well, let's have an interview. And so I had Dean Roberts, the drummer for Leatherwolf. He is currently the only original member of Leatherwolf, and we'll talk about that. And he had his perspective of the band, and Michael reached out, and he has a little bit of a different perspective. He also has the band Hail Mary and his own solo band, the Michael Olivieri Band. And so we're going to talk to him about all of those things and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. All right, let's welcome Michael to the show. How are you, Michael?
Jason, how are you, buddy?
Good. Happy New Year. It's good to see you.
Great to see you.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
It has.
And we got a little bit of that echo again, I see.
Yeah. I took my headphones off and I turned that up, so I wasn't all canned out.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I was a fan of the band Leatherwolf, as I said in the intro. And when we were looking for someone to help us, the singer for Sin City Sinners, Todd Kearns, went on tour with Slash, and we needed somebody to help us do some shows. I remember one of them was Bozeman, Montana, and I think you came out to that one. You did a few.
Yeah, that was the Three Forks, something like that. Three Rivers.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was that a Queensryche? Was it Queensryche? Was it that?
It was Vixen.
Lita Ford, maybe.
It was Vixen, Lita Ford, then Queensryche. We went on after Queensryche. It was supposed to.
And maybe Hinder? Was Hinder on the bill?
I don't know if they were on that one. Maybe they were, but it was Eddie Trunk's birthday party.
Yeah.
Was the gimmick.
That was great. Yeah, it was great. We closed out the night. We did the late night set.
That's right. And people were camping. It was very strange. You know, I think people probably wish they could just go to sleep.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
I always like performing with Sin City Sinners. Always such a great time going out there playing with Rob and Brent and everybody, just good time.
Yeah. And you came out and did several shows in Las Vegas with us, and we put some songs in. Yeah. And so I was thinking I invited you to do the show a long time ago. You didn't see the message. So it kind of got lost. You know, we all get tons of emails and so it got lost. I tour managed Stephen Piercy. I was on the road with him in Colorado a few times, and I always run into Paul Carmen, a bass player for Leatherwolf, former bass player.
Yeah.
Because he runs a backline company out there.
Correct.
And so I asked him about Leatherwolf. I asked everybody about Leatherwolf. And we were in, I believe, Minnesota, and I ran into Dean. And he had an injured hand. And he explained to me that a band was going to play that night called Leatherwolf, but would have no members of Leatherwolf, no original members of Leatherwolf.
So basically, it's like a tribute band.
Yes. And he wasn't able to play. So it was strange.
I saw some of that video, and I found it very strange. But
even if they were the best players in the world, it's still not Leatherwolf, and it's a strange thing when the members of Leatherwolf are all alive, you
Right.
know, and can and are and able to play. So, but I had Dean come on the show to talk about it, and and people can watch that interview. I quickly realized though the things that I liked about Leatherwolf were not the things that he liked about Leatherwolf, and everyone's entitled to like what they like, and he's a part of that band with you. But I really like these melodic songs, and at one point, some of the melodic songs that I like were the ones that he said he didn't like, or wasn't. You know, I think he always said he would like a harder sound. So it was an interesting interview, and as I said to you, well, you could see that he was a little angry towards some of the other guys, and we even edited it to tone it down a bit. But so I obviously my goal is not to make this you versus him, but I think a lot of people would like to know your thoughts on a band called Leatherwolf. That he is the only. They have an album out, and he is the only member. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in that world.
Oh wow. Where do I start with that? Oh wow. So if we back up, you know, me and Dean were the only members for quite a while, for carrying it on for quite a few years. When 1992, I'll back up. I'll just make a long story short, but in 1990, the scene started to change. We had another option with Island Records, another record, and our manager convinced us to back out and go to MCA because Island really wasn't doing anything with us and really couldn't put us on the map. You know, they like to spend a lot of money, send us to the Bahamas and record records, and you know, have Kevin Beamish and spend money making the record, but they didn't want to spend a lot of money to promote the record, if any money at all. We pretty much supported ourselves on the road. So when we backed up to go to MCA, we backed out of a really nice third option with Island Records, and we decided to back out and go MCA. So in that period of time, along comes Alice in Chains and Nirvana and name the genre band at that time. So things changed. We got strung along for a bit. So we decided to change it up. We let go of Dean. Dean had a lot of issues back in the day with alcohol and just embarrassing thing, pretty much.
Yeah, he mentioned that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no secret. He'll be the first to admit it. But he's cleaned himself up, and he's a straight up guy. He's he's on the right track as far as that goes. But we changed it up, and we thought, we've been doing this for 10 years. Let's try something else. So me, Jeff, and Carrie, the main writers, Leatherwolf, the three guitar players, we turned into Hail Mary, and we got a really solid section, Marco Forconi and Pat Guyton. So we got demo deal with Epic. Ken Commissar from Epic put us on a demo deal, and we worked on that for about a year. And you know, as the times were changing, nobody was really signing. We couldn't really get anything going. The band started to get a little punky for me. And you know, at the time, you know, they were Jeff and Carrie were kind of leaning more towards, you know, some more harder punky stuff, and I liked it too. You know, I can do anything. I've done a lot of different kinds of music, but at the time, I think Lenny Kravitz coming out. I think Lenny Kravitz just dropped his first record, and I was just like, well, I love what this guy's doing. I want to, you know, I was getting back my early roots. I was, you know, getting back into the Eagles and you know, Allman Brothers and the Beatles, and I was kind of like, wow, I kind of missed all this stuff because I went right from high school into a metal band. You know, with Leatherwolf, we got to get together in '81, and that was a long time. So yeah, you know,
you guys all went to different high schools together, like you know, it was split up, but you guys were young people.
Me and Jeff Gayer were in guitar class for a junior and senior. So like first and second period, we just played guitar in this guitar class at Fountain Valley High School, and we got A's. So that was cool. And me and Jeff just really bonded. Jeff and Dean and Carrie went to another high school, Ocean View High School. And our bass player at the time, Jerome Severin, kind of ping pong between high schools. I don't know how that's possible, but it was. So he was kind of the glue that brought us together. So Jerome, Jeff, Dean, and Carrie played a backyard party one time, and I tagged along, and that was with Dave Mustaine, and it was a band called Panic. And I have a funny story about that. I'll just make it quick. Dave Mustaine was the master bedroom was the green room of this backyard party. He left and he says, "Nobody touched this guitar. Nobody touched this guitar." It was his BC rich bitch, and it was like, "Nobody touch it. What are you gonna do when somebody says don't touch it?" So we all passed it around, and so we kind of just all bonded on that thing. I started to get to know Carrie and Jeff, and we started playing, and it was like, "Oh, these 3 guitars, man! This is kind of cool. I don't think anybody's doing this right now." And we had this polyphonic, really interesting style of. So we just threw it together, and hey, let's see what happens. We called it Leatherwolf, and off we went. But so after we go through the whole Leatherwolf thing, 10 years later, we split up and we turned to Hail Mary. At that time, after we let Dean go, Dean gets sober and copyrights the name. After we kind of abandoned it a little bit, we were just dumb kids. We didn't know. Hindsight would have copyrighted myself, but I didn't. No one was really thinking that far. So Dean copyrights the name, and we do Jennifer Perry. She was Sharon Osbourne's assistant, and we did Sharon Osbourne's birthday party at the Troubadour, maybe like 98, 99. And she said, "Hey, will the Leatherwolf get back together and play a show?" Like, wow, okay. So we got together and we played. And then that's when the got together. We did a live record, and things just didn't fall. Just kind of didn't really vibe really well. So
I saw it. I saw it live in 1999 here in Las Vegas. I never thought I would ever see Leatherwolf, and so to see the Street Ready lineup play that year was amazing.
Pinkies or something, right? What's it called? Pinkies.
Not now, but yeah, it was called Pinkies, and it was a kind of cool rock.
It was really cool. That was a really cool show. So we trudged along. We tried to make a record. It didn't really work out. Then little time passes, and Jeff and Dean wanted to record, and I kind of I was doing my solo record. I did a record, Goodbye Rain, and I was kind of doing my own thing. And Wade Black comes along and does the record. I went over to Dean's house, the studio, and helped out with backup vocals. And we're all friends. Everything's cool, and Wade's cool, and he's my friend. And they go to do a couple of those. They had some European tour lined up. Their record comes out, World Asylum. And Wade quits, and Dean asked me, "Hey, do you want to go do this tour?" And I'm like, well, I don't really want to tour his record. I'll tell you what, since nobody's really heard the record yet, I will record the vocals, and we'll call it New World Asylum. And that's how it happened. And I kind of got back in the fold, and we did that. So that went along, and I was in the band ever since that. Jeff had some issues, and he didn't kind of work out. So we got some other guys, Rob Math and Greg Erba. So we kind of trudged along. I always wanted the original guy. I always said, "Hey man, Leatherwolf is me, Jeff and Carrie, and you can place any great drummer and bass player in there, but we were the guys who sang and wrote the songs." And in my eyes, that's the core nucleus of the band.
Well, and it's the triple axe attack. I know that that's kind of used as a gimmick, but it is essentially, at least to the outsider, the 3 of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, and I've tried it. I've been in the Wolf with other guitar players, and nothing matches the magic when me and Jeff and Carrie play. We've sat on the couch when we were young, and just we would sit there and just hours and hours and hours just riff out, and Okay, you play the first, I'll play the third, you play the fifth, and then okay, you do this part, and we'll do a polyphonic thing. So we always had a really good chemistry between the three of us, so that didn't kind of work out. You can't just throw three guitar players in a room and expect it to be tight. We always can't. We play as one when we play. We listen to each other, and we're tight like that. We're like, it's the space between the notes that we're very aware of, and we have different styles, but we all kind of come together on the same page. So time goes on, and I always wanted the original guys back together, and Dean owned the name, and we hadn't a chance to, because I was doing it with Rob Nath and Greg Gerba, and then Luke came along, Luke Mann and Cole Jones. So I was doing it with two other guitar players, and it was never quite the same. And I told Dean, man, let's get Jeff and Kerry back in. Let's just do this the way we're supposed to do it. He was just no. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So when it finally did come time to happen, he was on board. I said, okay, so here's the deal, Dean. If we're going to do this, you're going to split. We get the name back, right? And it was like, no, he was like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. When we did the Bang Your Head show in Germany, M.O.B from Nuclear Blast, I was talking with him, and he's like, you guys got something really going on with these two younger guys, talking about Luke and Cole. They were like 26, 20, 25, 26. And me and Luke and Cole, I wrote a whole concept record. And Dean didn't like what was going on, because he didn't write anything of it, and he kind of felt kind of left out. So we had the Keep It True festival planned to go on, and me and Dean had a falling out because I said I wanted part of the name back if I'm going to continue. And if I'll go out and jam and I'll go play a concert. The name wasn't really as important as, okay, well, if you're going to get the name, I'm not out for free and shut down my business for 2 weeks to go sing and make nothing. So I'm gonna want something, or I want something off the back end. It's one of the two, but it was a no kind of a thing. So I bailed out. And I said, hey, I'll do it. Give me part of the name, whatever that's worth. It's like, that and a dime will get you a phone call. But, it wasn't. So he said I was fired, but it was kind of a mutual quit. So Oliver from Keep It True festivals, we had a show plan, and he said, Dean called him up and said, hey, Mike, I quit. Oliver reaches out to me, says, how can you quit the band right now when you have a concert going to show? And I said, hey, wait, that's not the way it went down. I told him the whole story, and he basically said, hey, he sent an email out to everybody and said, here's the deal, no OLIVIERI, no tour. So Dean and his camp, they were, okay, here's the deal, you do the show, but you're not going to make any money. Your wife can't come. You're going to have to pay your own thing, and you're going to pay your own hotel. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. So I backed out, and that's kind of where it is. And everybody in the band that's in Wolf right now are great bros of mine. Rob Math, love the guy. Luke, love the guy. Bryce, bass player, love that guy. Wayne Finley, I don't know him personally, but we talk on Facebook a little bit. So everybody I'm super cool with. There's no animosity over anything at all. So at this point, I say, hey man, I told Jeff and Kerry and Mark and Panic, because Eon Records reached out to us and they wanted to release the Hail Mary record. So go ahead. So just coincided with, hey, well, let's go do some shows. So I reached out to Oliver, and we hooked up on the Keep It True festival, and we did a show a couple months ago at the Galaxy Theater, and we're going back out to Germany just to kind of continue on, and we're doing a whole Leatherwolf set. We're playing all Leatherwolf songs under Hail Mary.
With no disrespect to anybody, it seems like if your choice was to see the drummer for Leatherwolf or to see the three guys, the Triple X Attack, play the songs, it seems like it would be an easy decision. Maybe there's room for everybody. I don't know. You did have a very laid back attitude. You did come and go and didn't fight it. But of course, maybe having a piece of the name would have been a little bit of a bit more out of principle than money. This was your life too, and you're asked to make a commitment to something that you would like to maybe not be an employee of. Also, you were one of the main songwriters, and I know Dean had some issues that you didn't want him to write, that you wanted to write with the other guys on your own. And there's these politics that happens in bands. So a Hail Mary, obviously you can advertise it as playing a Leatherwolf set. People know who the guys are. Um, and it's a strange place in the world of that band and those members.
It is kind of strange. It's not like there's two Leatherwolves, but we are. There's, you can do whatever you want, but anytime me, Jeff, and Carrie together, we're going to do Leatherwolf songs, and you can call it whatever you want, call it Hail Mary or whatever, but the magic is still there, the chemistry is still there. Those guys are amazing guitar players. They haven't lost anything. Jeff still shreds. Jeff wrote pretty much the whole new Leatherwolf record, and as soon as Dean got what he wanted out of Jeff, he fired him. So that's kind of Dean's MO on that. It's kind of more power to them. This new record for them could go great, and they could reinvent themselves and go play some shows. But in my eyes, man, if you're going to have a whole new sound and all new guys and a new singer and new guitar, they call it something else, man. Don't disrespect the fans or the legacy of the name, if you want to call it a legacy, whatever. But Dean's never really been in another band. He doesn't really know how to do anything else besides Leatherwolf. So no disrespect in that part, but it's just call it something else. Go do something else. Just what are you holding on to?
Yeah, it's a strange situation. And as we were kind of saying, it's not like there's $1 million to be made in this. It's not like you're going to go get a lawyer and sue for this and that. At the end of the day, it's more money than it's going to pay off for. So it's a tough situation. But it is good that fans can listen. Fans can choose if they don't have to choose. They can listen to both if they like the Leatherwolf record that he has out. They can listen to that, and they can listen to Hail Mary as well. I find it interesting your career has changed so many times. You don't want to do one type of music. Being a heavy metal singer, I mean, it must be strange for you because when you were doing Mike Olivieri band, it was more of a blues rock sound. It was something different, and you obviously enjoyed. So to put that hat on for a minute and then go back to playing heavy metal music, it's got to be a little bit of a change for you.
It sure is. It is a change. And, I'm not the metal singer that I used to be, if I ever was one. I'll be the first man. I wasn't the original singer. We had 6 people in the band and 3 guitar players. And the singers show up, and I was always the guy at rehearsal just singing, just trying to get through the songs. And we were doing a backyard party back in the early 80s, and our singer didn't show up. And they were like, "You're singing tonight." I'm like, "I'm fucking singing." "Yeah, you got to sing, dude. The singer's not here." I'm like, "Well, I'm not singing." So me and Jeff had to go down to the nearest liquor store and get a big old bottle of Lord Albert for me to chug down. And like, I can do this now. And, never look back. But I've never really formally like a singer. I'm more I'm more Lenny Kravitz than Rob Halford.
You became the singer by default. But people didn't know that, and they got used to your voice, and they enjoyed those records. And tell me a little bit about what's happening now besides Hail Mary. Where are you based out of?
I'm in Southern California, Aliso Viejo, California. Just a couple minutes from Laguna Beach. Doing my thing. I just put out this M.O.B record not too long ago. It's pretty cool. It's a 6-piece band. I got a couple of girls in there singing. Great band. It's a pretty eclectic kind of record. But then the Hail Mary stuff is came out, and me and Jeff and Carrie are writing, and we're gearing up to make a new record this year.
Tell me, Michael, where we find these things so I can put the link in the description so people can pick it up.
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I'm just like, I'm lame at social media as far as like promoting myself. My wife says, "Hey man, you just made a good record. What do you do with it?" I'm like, I don't know. I just did it. I don't know what to do with records anymore. You know what I mean? I don't have a record label or tour support or thing. So you can get this on michaelolivieri.com. It's available there. From me, directly through me. Reach out on Facebook, and I'll be glad to send you a copy, or whoever. I'm terrible at selling my product. That's probably my downfall.
No, you're an artist.
Hail Mary is you can get at eonianrecords.com. So that just came out. It's pretty cool. These songs are written in early '90s. There was one song that we re-recorded, "Me Lobotomy," that there's a new video that we put out. So that's going on. I'm gearing up for another Mob record. I've got a bunch of tunes that I've written, and looking forward to recording those. Shows this year. I got a really cool Mob show coming up, and Hail Mary. So kind of doing both things right now, and still writing, and I own my own business, and so everything keeps me pretty busy.
You raised a family also in that time. You got 2 daughters and a wife.
Got a couple daughters. Got remarried. So yeah, life is really good.
Yeah, that's a full schedule. We'll put the links in so people can check out this music. It's good that music is accessible these days.
Yeah, it is.
You don't have to depend on a record label or someone to market you. One of the problems that I'm sure we all agreed with Leatherwolf didn't happen proper. There's the people who thought Leatherwolf was this heavy metal band. There's the people who thought it could also be more of a melodic rock Sunset Strip band. I think there's something for everybody. I think if people watching don't know Leatherwolf, they probably wouldn't have made it this far if they didn't. But if you don't, those first 3 albums are really great. And then to listen to Hail Mary, you hear some of the guys. There's a lot out there, and you continue to put it out as well.
Well, music's going to always be in my blood. I'll always record, and I got my studio here. That's where I'm at right now. I think the downfall, I don't know if it's a downfall, but one of the things that made Leatherwolf not become a household name, not only just a record company that didn't know what to do with us, but our direction was all over the place. I mean, you could have Too Much Is Never Enough and One Lonely Road on the same record. I don't know if we really thought through our direction too much. So, we were kind of too heavy for the Poison fans, not heavy enough for the Metallica fans, maybe, So I think we kind of confused a lot of people. But that's when we were going through, that was our thing. It's like, hey, whatever we write, because me, Jeff, and Carrie all wrote in styles. We had so many different spices in one soup, and you take you take the salt out, you take the pepper out, and now you just got the garlic left.
Yes, I liked that. I liked the aspect that it was different, though. Maybe not everyone did, but I liked that you could have a really heavy. If you're a fan of music, some people can like that. I thought it was great that you'd have a really melodic ballad and then a heavy song back to back. I thought Leatherwolf had so much to offer. When you guys started out, you were playing shows on bills with Slayer and Metallica and some of the bands that would go on to be legendary.
Yeah. I have that was, to me, that was what made it work. Because you look at this, they were all over the map. You look, some of those are my influences. Bands that were just okay. We weren't AC/DC where every song's going to sound, but it also all sounded like the same band. No matter if it was. So we had that in our corner. Hindsight. Looking back, maybe we should have just stuck to our guns and picked a direction and went with it. But what's the fun in that?
Yeah. Well, and it's hard, as you say, when you started, you're young people. sometimes you need someone to offer some direction. And as I've made a mention in a lot of interviews, a lot of times labels start signing up what they think are genre bands. Well, we got to have one of these. We got to have one of these. And then
Yeah.
sometimes they have it, so somebody else doesn't have it.
Right. Right.
And then maybe you get lost in the shuffle. And as you mentioned on the Street Ready album, you're off to the Bahamas, right, to record.
Yeah, we did two records there.
Do you guys get a bill for that?
That's the thing. Had we known, we would have just done the record in LA and saved about $250,000. But we're stupid kids, man. Like, who's not going to want to go to the Bahamas and stay for 2 months? Kevin Beamish came along and did both records for us, and he kind of polished us up and took us out of the we were still heavy. We still had an element of that, but he definitely shined it up. Put some shoe polish on it, and all of a sudden, like, wow, listen to our vocals. We don't sound like that. We kind of very eponymous kind of vocals. It was like, so that was fun. It was definitely an experience, and a growing experience to do that.
I mean, yeah, like you say, I mean, in the moment, wow, this is crazy. I can't believe we're doing this. Later on, the things start to happen where you go, okay, well, this is your bill for this, and you made a music video. Well, here's that, and you start to think, well, wait a second, we didn't get on the big tour that we should have got on, and we did all this work.
We were close. There was at one point it was 80. It was 88, 89. I don't know if Street Ready came out. No, Street Ready hasn't come out yet. But we were on the road, and our manager said, "Hey, you guys are on the Alice Cooper tour, and you guys are going to go to Europe, and you're doing the whole tour. You're going to play Wembley." And we were like, "Whoa!" Yeah, somebody was working on the video. We were going to do a video for a crowd at Wembley Coliseum, at Wembley Stadium. And 2 weeks before we leave, we got pulled from tour, and that was kind of a kick in the ass, kicking the balls, I should say. We were kind of disappointed about that. And
did they tell you why?
Yeah, Alice Cooper's management wanted one of their bands. I think it was Chrome Moly or something, if I remember correctly. And as a matter of fact, I was doing some shows with Jack Russell. I subbed place when he can't make it, so I'll go out and do some shows with Jack Russell's Great White, and Ken Mary's the drummer, and he was Alice Cooper at the time. Talking about that, he goes, "Yeah, remember Leatherwolf was on the bill, and then all of a sudden you guys weren't. What happened?" And it was that close to maybe taking it to the next level. So we never really got the big tour or the big break, I guess. We got some MTV play on Headbangers Sports Ball, but what metal band in the '80s that was signed did we?
Yeah, it was getting out of the Headbangers Ball. It was good to get there, but if you can get onto Dial MTV, then you were to the next level.
Yeah, we didn't have a Every Rose Has Its Thorn, a song like that to get into the mainstream MTV play. Is what it is.
Absolutely. I will tell you that as I started talking about Leatherwolf on the show, people come out of the woodwork. I love that band, or what happened to that band? I forgot about the band. And so it's great that we can tell those people some of the stories, but also let them know that you can see Dean with Leatherwolf, but you can also see the three guys with Hail Mary. I know overseas there's a good market for this. As you said, you'll be going very soon.
Yeah. Every time we go play Europe, especially Germany, we always have just a tremendous response. And the thing about Germans, if you were somebody's favorite band in 1989, you're still their favorite band, and their kids. So we do these shows out there as festivals, and man, it's crazy how many people remember. It's not so much in the U.S., but in Europe, they really hold on to their past and their music. They don't grow out of music there. It's quite remarkable how it goes down.
Yeah, there's a loyalty, and sometimes here in America we're oversaturated, and sometimes there's a lot of bands out there. Some of these festivals, that same festival where I saw Leatherwolf with no original members, then you have maybe Britney Fox with one member, or it. And so when it gets that oversaturated, I think sometimes people stop following.
Right. Well, you know, what was 82, 82, that was 4 years ago. So chances of having the same guys 40 years later, I mean, we're not the Stones or Aerosmith or whatever, but you know, that's pretty rare to have. You know, hats to bands like Poison, who's got, you know, all four same guys doing it. That's not an easy deal. You know, people get old, they retire, they don't want to do it anymore. They can't do it anymore. So
You know,
a
those
lot of
guys are bickering too.
yeah, so a lot of pieces have to fall into place to keep originals together 30, 40 years later.
Yeah, and a love for the music, especially in your case. You know, playing that music and giving the people the chance to see it. Obviously, as we've said, it's not for the money. You know, it's obviously there is money involved, but you do it because you love doing this, and you guys were able to get along. I'm glad that we were able to put your side of it out there for people to hear. You know, you don't come across as a combative guy and an angry person. The situation is what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I wish the best for what they got going now. Like I said, the guys in the band, they're golden. I love all the guys. You know, me and Dean don't get along well. We haven't talked in quite a few years. Um, uh, he's pretty bitter about the situation. I don't know why. He's the one carrying on. So, um, you know, it just happens that it didn't work. Unfortunately, you know, we are all capable and available to continue on as Leatherwolf, but you know, he owns the name, and you know, he's the boss. You know, Dean's way or the highway. So you know,
You
what do
would
you do?
probably do better sharing the name and getting more interest in the band. I think that the original lineup will, you know, members, the core, will always do better. He would not agree. I'm sure he's watching, and he would not agree, but or think it's too difficult. But at this point, you know, we all only have so many years on this planet, and if you're going to have the name, you should capitalize it and give people the best presentation that you can. But there's differences in opinion, and I guess that's what makes this music world so crazy.
Yeah, man. You know, it's just music. It's rock and roll. You know, there's no reason to hate each other over it. You know, it's just nothing but a thing, really. You know, it's not like, you know, we're not, it's not Michael's Leatherwolf. I'm not doing anything like that. You know, Hail Mary's a legitimate band we put together. We wrote some really good songs, and we still got some gas left in the tank. We're going to put out a really kick-ass record, hopefully sometime this year. But you know, I do a lot of different things, and I don't need Leatherwolf to make me happy or to make me content. You know, I'm happy playing doing my stuff. And I don't do music for to be a rock star or to make money or for the ego. It's just in my blood, and I just love to do it. And whatever it calls itself, or whatever direction it takes, and whoever I play with or whoever I'm involved in, so be it. You know, so I just love playing music. It's in my blood. I love playing with other people. Like I said, I've been doing things with Jack Russell and some other people I've been working with and doing my. So I just, you know, playing with the Sin City Sinners, stuff like that. That was, you know, just meeting people and getting out and playing with other people, and just that's the kick for me. You know, it's a people thing. You know, meeting great people along the way is really what it's all about, and just, you know, sharing the love and just you know, being a brother to the fellow musicians, and just treating people good, and you know, having a good heart, and having the good motives and good intentions. And what else can you besides that? Like I said, I'm not here to try to make $1 million, be a rock star. Just doing what I do.
And most people wouldn't have gotten as far as you have. You know, you got to travel the world. You got to make these records. We're on MTV, do these things, and to still be playing music. It's not a bad. It's not a bad life. It could be much worse. I hope that people will check out MikeOlivieriBand.com. If you can't spell it, it's in the link. It's easy enough to find. New music available.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
This new record, Love is Contagious. There's a couple videos up on YouTube that I've done, and from my past solo records, I've got several videos that I've done. You know, my genre ranges from blues rock to country-ish to Pink Floyd meets John Denver meets Lenny Kravitz, somewhere in there, you know. So
yeah, well, I hope
like it if you do, like it if you don't want it, but it's all good. No hard feelings.
People check it out and check out Hail Mary as well. And we'll stay in touch, and hopefully we'll come across each other somewhere again out there, and keep people posted on a new Hail Mary record as well.
I look forward to that. And if any avenues where Hail Mary can do anything in Vegas, let us know. We're looking to put some shows together before we go to Germany in April. So we're looking for some avenues and some places to play. Just did the Galaxy here in Orange County just this last October. So we're looking to put a few shows together before we head out in April. So, you know.
All right. Well, we'll stay in touch and talk some more about that too.
Great.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Subscribe and check out Michael on social media and his websites. And we'll see everybody again soon.
Thank you, Jason.